Yes, I am shocked. I am shocked. I am shocked. President Trump. Again, let's say it one more time. President Trump. President Trump. We have to let this roll off of our tongues now. President Trump. I tell you something, guys. First of all, yes, I'm really, really shocked. I'm not really shocked at anything else other than being shocked at America. A lot of folks tomorrow, they're going to say rural America. They're going to say those folks in rural America really did it. Don't take it out of my brothers and sisters in rural America, because again, remember something that Trump said. Trump said early on, I love the uneducated voter. And yes, he did get the vote of the uneducated voter, but he didn't get the majority of his votes from the uneducated voter. He got a lot of votes from your neighbors. He got a lot of votes from your PhDs, from your masters. A lot of people want to call this Brexit. They want to call this Brexit. They want to call this fork. For those who don't understand what Brexit is when the people in England erroneously decided that they wanted to leave. They wanted to leave Europe. So they got out of it in as much as it was very bad or it is very bad for them. Fork in Colombia. The polls also had it ahead, both in England and in Great Britain and in Colombia. Fork. It was that the population was going to support the treaty that we made with FARC so that we could live in good harmony in Colombia, and the people voted it down. Now, what they're trying to do here in America is say, oh, this vote in America is just like Brexit. Don't make the mistake and call it Brexit. Yes, Debilyn Molyneux, my dear president of Coffee Party USA, it's over. It really is over. The numbers, the arithmetic is really not there. Right now, they're playing it on to keep people watching and paying for TV advertisement. I'm going to go into whose fault this is in a little bit. But here's the interesting thing. Brexit. This is not a Brexit, folks. This is nativism. This is sexism. And this is racism. All three. Now, the people who vote for Trump, they don't suffer from all three of those, because also if you watch my shows from before as well, I spoke to, well, Shane Brooks, the DNC did this, not me. Not really. The DNC could have done absolutely the worst things on the planet. But for Americans to have elected a racist, chauvinist, sexist, anti-everything type of person, it speaks more about America than it does to the DNC. All of you who are watching, or for those who are watching who knows I know I was a strong Bernie supporter, forget about that, because I became a strong Hillary supporter because it was in fact the only choice. It was in fact the only choice. But it gets deeper. For those who decided not to vote, and I don't have the numbers here, so I can't speak about the numbers much. Let's see. Debilyn says, I heard that Bernie supporters would think this, but to choose Trump over Clinton is about us. Exactly. It's about America. I agree with that if that's what you're saying. Choosing Trump says more about America in the aggregate than it does say about anything else. It tells me personally that we have a whole lot further to go, and we have a whole lot of work to do. There's one silver lining for me. There's one slight silver lining, and it goes like this. We didn't only lose the presidency. That was bad enough. We lost the Senate, and we lost and we didn't make any headway inside of the Trump, and we didn't make any headway inside of the Congress. But here's the deal, guys. What it means now is the Supreme Court, in fact, we get a Supreme Court that will be conservative, because it's not only the Supreme Court that's missing, but it's also the Supreme Court justices that will replace Sandra Day O'Connor. I mean, that's the other woman that's pretty old on the Senate. So that is probably, we're not only going to have a 5-4 Supreme Court now, we're going to have more than likely a 6-3 Supreme Court conservative, and that is, they're going to appoint young people, and that's going to last for a long time. So this here is damaging. This means something for all of those who thought, well, let's just stick it to Hillary. And I wrote that article inside of Daily Kos last week. Oh, for those people who really want to stick it to Hillary. They didn't stick it to Hillary. Hillary goes back home to $250 million in her checking account. Hillary Clinton goes back home to $250 million in her checking account. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you're correct. She goes there with a bruised heart. But the rest of America gets hurt for that. For all of you guys who have the Affordable Care Act, I have no idea what happens to that anymore. For all of those folks that were hoping that their Latino brethren that are here, forget about that. But I tell you, one of the biggest hurts here, I think what this has done to our society is it has, anybody who goes to church now, specifically evangelical church or whatever, I think they've lost all credibility. Exit polls, one of his biggest supporters in this win around the rural areas and around the cities, etc., were the evangelicals. The evangelicals supported Donald Trump more than anyone else. The evangelicals. Let's see. Shane says, I'm disappointed as much as the next person had argued that if Bernie was the nominee, you would have witnessed a landslide as grand as Reagan versus Mondale. It was a rise up against the establishment. I agree. If Bernie had, but we can't talk about if Bernie had won, because the truth of the matter is all of us that were working for Bernie, we just didn't do the job. And as such, that's, when I say we didn't do the job, yes, we had headwinds. I understand that. We had headwinds, but we didn't get the job done. So we had to go to the next best thing. And in supporting Hillary Clinton, we didn't get the job done. And a lot of those who wanted to stick it to Hillary, they didn't stick it to Hillary. They stuck it to themselves. And it's not only the losers, meaning us, the people who didn't get the candidate we want, that's going to suffer. It's also the evangelicals. Okay? The evangelicals are going to suffer because they would have lost their credibility for supporting somebody who is anathema entirely. It's anathema to everything that they preach. So who can really trust an evangelical as being somebody of, quote unquote, the Lord? Who can? Anybody who believes an evangelical going forward, forget it. But I tell you one thing that's I think I hope for. Yes, it's going to be bad, but it's all on Republicans now. They have the House, they have the Senate, and they have the presidency. But if there is one thing that Donald Trump has proven, I was just talking to my wife about this, and I said, now they have all of sections of government now, so they're in total control. So when they effect their policies, more than likely when it starts hurting people, the reverse is going to happen. Then I remembered one thing. Take care, Devlin. I remembered one thing. Donald Trump made lying vogue. And in making lying vogue, when he fails, he will lie and put the blame on anybody else but himself and the Republican Party. So the way I see it is, when Trump went on stage and said, I love my uneducated voter. When he said, I love my uneducated voter, might as well he had said, I also love my willfully ignorant voter. I also love my dispossessed voter. Because that is what we got. Now, who do we thank for this? Look, the media doesn't really want Trump, but Trump was good for business. Trump was very good for business. And they strung along Trump long enough for him to metastasize within the psyche of the American population. They held on. They made him viable for all this time. Yes, Lindy, my sister, fully exposed. Absolutely. The world is watching. I tell you this, folks. They laid the groundwork for Trump. Our mainstream media made Trump vogue, made him possible. Made him possible. And think about this in making him possible. Now they're going to have to live with somebody who claims he will start censoring a media. And remember, this guy's a fascist. So don't ever dare believe that he won't be doing the things that he claimed that he's going to do. This guy is a fascist. So they held themselves down. So we can blame the media. We can blame the Republican Party. We can blame all these other guys. We can blame the evangelicals. But blame is really over. We have President Trump. We have to live with President Trump. And for all those who said, let's stick it to him, I hope you know what you bought, because you sure are going to live with it. For those who own stocks, and a lot of you who voted for him held a lot of stocks, the stock market is down 700 plus points right now. And you can expect the stock market to go berserk in the early hours. And I don't really have much more to say. Let me read some of your notes before I leave. Yes, he will run this country into the ground, but he is going to appoint Supreme Court justices who can be around for decades. Yeah, which means liberal policies. People don't understand that the separation of powers is kind of dubious in this country, right? Because what happens is when we get laws passed now, what do you think is going to happen? The population wants laws passed, and we just have to have a Supreme Court says, no, we don't think that is constitutional. Law is gone. I don't know. I tell you what, I'll be all right. But a whole lot of folks who voted for him won't be all right. A whole lot of folks out there that are happy and are screaming right now, they won't be all right. So all I can tell you guys is good luck. We're going to continue doing what we do. Our revolution will continue. Bernie Sanders, our revolution, we'll continue what we're doing. We'll continue trying to get progressives out there. We'll try to do all of this, but we can't do it if we continue to have a gullible people that can allow the fear of the other, the fear of folks that are different, to allow the fear of women, smart women, and I don't know. But folks, I just had to kind of get this off of my chest and speak to my folks. Good luck and welcome to the world of Trump. The one thing that I feel bad about is when the transition of power comes and President Obama has to transfer power to the person who actually doubted or used his citizenship as the launching of his presidential career. But folks, for all of you who voted for Trump, you're happy. Good luck, because I think a lot of us we know the pain. We know the pain. Women know the pain of discrimination. Black folks know the pain of prejudice. Latinos know the pain of prejudice. All of us know that. But I tell you what, the white Appalachian folks are yet to feel the kind of deceit that the guy they think is one of their own will bring upon them. Now think about that, folks. Think about that. Black folks will be fine. Yes, we're used to pain. Latinos will be fine. We're used to pain. Women will be fine. They're used to it. But those guys who voted thinking that Trump was going to make things better for them, they don't know pain. And my question then is as follows. What will they do when that pain is not soothed? Have a great night, my friends.